and we should probably talk about your latest movie, Dirty Keto.
Yeah.
Wonderfully done. I was so grateful to be able to watch it. I would expect nothing less coming from you. I was so happy to see all of our amazing mutual friends like Dr. Chafee and Dr. Ben Bickman and Mary Newport, who you mentioned, and all these wonderful people that are also out there sharing the message. Tell me why this documentary needed to be made.
I don't think it needed to be made. I came up with a great title and I went, well, I got to do a movie. Yeah. No, I just got the aforementioned KetoCon, and by the way, Robin is a great friend, the woman who runs that.
She's amazing.
Yeah, what she's doing there, and she's helping a lot of people. I don't think they took kindly to me telling the truth when I'm on stage. You know, and it's not, and so I get why they wouldn't have me back, and I'm kind of played out anyway. Why keep having the same guy back? But I would go again, but my message is not going to change. And when you have people out, you know, with the kiosks set up selling all the keto junk, and I feel bad that I'm on stage going, hey, don't go eat all that crap. It's not keto, right? And I remember the first couple of years, they did have good products. There was a guy that was selling bone broth, and there was another guy selling pure, chocolate, pure fat from cocoa, right? And all this different kind of stuff. So there were some good companies out there doing some good things, right? But then I started seeing this guy selling brownies and that guy selling candy of all sorts. And it's like, no, it's monk fruit, Vinny. It's okay. And no, it's got agave in it. And I'm like, this is not keto. Who are you lying to? Right. And they started using all the other fake sugars that will give you the shits and all this kind of thing. I'm sorry. I'm not there to help you sell your products. I'm there to help the people who are there. You know, I say at the beginning of every podcast, your good intentions have been stolen. I'm going to help you get them back. And here we are at a keto convention where they're stealing your good intentions again. I'm sorry, I can't be part of it. You know, I'm not going to be part of it. That's why I don't get invited. You mentioned before the show, yes, I used to go around internationally, and I will start doing that again. I can't right now because I'm sick. But I'm invited to Asia, Asian countries, and I've been invited to Europe, and I've been invited to all over the United States to talk. But the conventions aren't really welcoming. They won't welcome a guy like me anymore because I'm going to say, hey, everybody out there is selling bullshit. Right? They don't want to hear that. I'm not going to start mincing words. I'm too old and too ugly. Right? So that's that. So, that was the beginning of me with Dirty Keto. It's gone far beyond small companies at KetoCon, selling crap. It's now, industry got hold to it. And I remember the first time I started hearing people say, well, Vin, what about net carbs? I was like, net carbs? Well, what do we have here? So I Googled net carbs, and just miraculously, industry had figured out, we're going to just tell people that you can subtract the fiber from carbs. They don't count. When I read that, I went, okay, the last time I heard something this crazy was when I heard someone call a black man the black face of white supremacy. It's like, when you hear certain things that don't make sense, right? It's like, wait, the new blackface of white supremacy? Huh? And then you hear net carbs. When things start not making sense, it makes me take a deeper dive. It's like, okay, what are they trying to make me believe here? I knew it was bullshit right away, right? But I'm sitting there going, why are they saying this? And then I saw another one not long after that. You can subtract sugar alcohols from total sugar. It's like, okay, who came up with this happy horse crap? Right? So it's like, it was all just made out of just thin air, just thin air. None of it is true. It's kind of like when with the aforementioned, Dr. McDougall saying, oh, you can eat all the white rice you want and you can lower your type 2 diabetes. We know that's a lie. This is a lie that's just as big, if not bigger, right? And this is now on my side of the aisle, the stuff I'm telling people to do.
That's right.
So that's when I looked at it and went, okay, I have to go after my own industry, something that I help create. People, I don't think people, they go, oh, come on, Vinny, did you create this? No, I didn't. When it comes to it, this was, long before me, low carb diets were a thing. We go back to early 1900s. We can go back to, the doctors that were curing cancer and all these different metabolic, diseases with low carb, right? Otto Warburg comes to mind, right? And we could go on and on and on. We go back to Dr. Atkins in the 1970s, who discovered it by accident from some of his patients, right? So no, I didn't create an industry, but people like myself, Gary Taubes was early, with the books, Why We Get Fat, and before that, Good Calorie, Bad Calorie. There was a bunch of guys that started talking about it. And when we first came to the internet, we were largely considered, charlatans and kooks and where's your tinfoil hat and all this kind of stuff. And we had to go through those battles before we got popular. And then everyone else jumped on board, which is great. That's why I will never say anything bad about Brian Sanders. I think what he's doing, the energy he has, he's doing a great job, right? I'm happy for all of these people, all of them. And I want everyone to do well. But when the industry looks at what we're doing and go, okay, let's start creating shit around this, that's when I got to, put my hand up and go, no. This is not what we were talking about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
You guys took the word, ketogenic, brought it down to keto. Now let's bastardize keto.
Yeah. No, I mean, it happened just this week as I was explaining to one of my clients that I was going to a trade show called Hack Your Health. And she said, well, isn't that the same as KetoCon? I'm like, well, it was KetoCon. It's a rebrand now. Robin decided to change it to Hack Your Health. It's slightly different because there's kind of this like weird notion about keto. And she's like, I don't understand why there's like this connotation. Like I thought that the idea was just to be in ketosis most of the time. Like you could do that with a lot of different things. I'm trying to explain it to my kids and they don't understand keto. They think it's really weird. And I try to tell them like, look, you just eat real food that puts you in ketosis. I'm like, yes, that's perfect. That's what we want. We want you to be in ketosis for certain health conditions, for weight loss, for general, good energy. And if you spend most of your time in ketosis, you're probably going to be great. You're going to do just fine. It's just this word keto has, like you said, been bastardized by an industry trying to make a buck by selling you these products that say they're keto.
Yeah. And that's how the movie, you've seen the movie, right, Casey? I sent you a copy.
Yeah, it was great.
What did you think? And by the way, don't blow smoke up my ass. Did we hit it or did I miss the point? I mean, I was trying to, and by the way, it's the first movie that I've done in an hour, right? The other ones are like 85, 90 minutes long. And I said, I want this to be more, if you will, bite size. So I had to cram a lot of stuff into 60 minutes. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I am not somebody who does very well with brevity. If we ever do podcast episodes where we take like clips of a certain topic and put them all together, like if I want to do like an episode where we just talk about protein that takes like 15 different clips from 15 episodes, that episode is going to be like 4 hours long. So I'm not very good at the brevity thing. And I understand it's really important to get it down. I thought you covered all the points really well. I thought it ran through a sequence of events that was, it made a lot of sense. It's tough out there when people are trying to do the right thing and they want to do this keto diet because somebody said it was good. So they start making keto bombs. And what you mentioned, I thought this was fascinating, actually. What you mentioned about the keto products, some of them don't have to report how much sugar is in certain things. And it can add up from so many different sources that you could actually have like something say no sugar or very low sugar, and it could have way more sugar than I was aware of. That part was fascinating to me.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to products, and that's why I tell people just eat real food, because then you get to miss all of this. If you have a plus or minus of, I don't want to misspeak, but 2 or 3% or something like that, the government says you can count that as zero, right? So if you notice, they'll say, like the third ingredient is something, it might say, lemon juice concentrate. And then you'll see another ingredient or two, and then you'll see, grape juice concentrate or some other name. And at one point in the film, I run like 56 different names that they will use to hide sugar under. And if you look at some of these products, it'll say zero sugar or zero added sugar. Those are the two industry words, either zero sugar or zero added. And then when you look at the ingredients, you'll see sugar listed 4 or 5 different ways if you know what to look for. And you go, wait, they said no sugar. Yes, because they put 2% or less of all these sugars. And if you add them up, you can easily have 10 or 15 grams of sugar in the product that says zero sugar, right? And our FDA allows that to go on all day long, right? These guys are playing within the confines. It's almost like we have the inmates running the asylum, because the food industry gives so much money to politicians, to senators. They have a lot to say. They help control the FDA. So you have the prisoners running the asylum, and it's just not going to ever work. That's why you have to advocate for yourself.